Loyal opposition, sit down, get comfortable, because the numbers are officially out and I need you to understand something before we even start. I did not expect it to be this bad. Twice a year, Netflix drops its viewership report. It's a spreadsheet, 8,000 rows. No spin, no PR team, no sources say. Just cold, hard, hours watched data. And twice a year, this is the moment I look forward to more than almost anything else I cover on this channel, because it's the one time Harry and Meghan can't control the narrative. And this time, the numbers aren't just bad. They're the kind of bad that makes you understand immediately why Netflix quietly let the relationship die. So grab your tea, get settled, because we're going deep into the spreadsheet today. If you're new here, welcome to the Loyal Opposition, the one corner of the internet that actually reads the fine print instead of the press release. If that sounds like your kind of chaos, hit subscribe, because we've got a lot of spreadsheet diving ahead of us today. So here's how this works, for anyone who hasn't gone down this rabbit hole with me before. Netflix releases this What We Watched report twice a year, first half, second half. It ranks basically every single thing on the platform by hours viewed, then divides that by runtime to estimate something close to a viewership number. It is, and I cannot stress this enough, the single most unspinnable metric in this entire saga. Meghan's team can frame a magazine profile. They can leak a friendly narrative to a friendly outlet. They cannot leak a spreadsheet. And this report, the one covering the first half of this year, is the first one released since Netflix quietly did not renew the couple's overall deal. Which means this is our first real look at whether the amicable, ongoing, first-look relationship framing Meghan has been pushing actually holds up against what people were watching. Spoiler, it does not hold up well. Before we get to the bad part, let's talk about what's dominating this list, because it tells you everything about what Netflix actually wants right now. Korean content. Not one show, 5 separate Korean language titles in the top 10 most watched list. No English dub required, apparently no language barrier required either. Add in hits from Japan, Spain, India, South Africa, plus true crime documentaries pulling tens of millions of hours, stories like the one about a young woman convicted of deliberately driving into a building and killing her boyfriend and his friend. That one alone pulled in the tens of millions. This is a platform that is thriving on strong storytelling from literally anywhere in the world except, apparently, the Sussexes. And that's the part that stings loyal opposition. Because in theory, I am the audience for a Meghan documentary. I watch true crime obsessively. I've been doing this since Investigation Discovery was just 48 hours reruns. I watch international content. I watch reality shows. I watch all of it. If there's a story, I'm there. Harry and Meghan just don't have one. And the numbers are about to make that painfully clear. Landing somewhere in the range of 4,700th place out of roughly 8,000 titles. Not available in every market, same as last year. 1.4 million watch hours over 6 months. To put that in perspective for you, that is roughly what a mid-sized YouTube channel, not even a huge one, pulls in about a single month. Meghan's show did, in 6 months, what a lot of independent creators do before lunch. 300,000 estimated viewers. And look, I have to say it, I fully expect a chunk of that number is just the most devoted corner of her online support base re-watching episodes to try to keep the number afloat. Bless their commitment. It's not working. About 800,000 watch hours, landing around 200,000 estimated viewers. Also geographically restricted. Also, notably, further down the list than Season 2 despite being older, which tells you retention isn't happening. People are not going back. Here's the mildly interesting twist. The holiday special actually slightly outperformed Season 2 on a per-view basis. 200,000 watch hours for an hour-long special. Similar viewer estimate to the full seasons, which, honestly, if I were advising Meghan, and I am not, and she would not want me to, I'd say lean into that. Do a holiday special every single year. Cheap to produce, short commitment. Clearly the format her audience responds to best. She didn't do that. Make of that what you will. This is, by a wide margin, their best performing title, and it's the one you'd expect. Available globally in every single market, unlike anything else they've made. 3.2 million hours viewed across a roughly 6-hour series, landing around 600,000 estimated viewers. Still their best number. Still nowhere close to competing with the true crime documentaries or the international dramas dominating the actual top 10. And here's the real gut punch. The shows that didn't even make the list at all. Harry's polo documentary, gone. Not on the list. Live to Lead, the leadership docuseries that came out right after the Netflix deal was announced, gone. Not on the list either, same as last year. Heart of Invictus, also nowhere to be found. That's the part I want you to sit with. It's not just that the shows underperformed, it's that entire projects have simply evaporated from public consciousness. Nobody is rewatching. Nobody is discovering them later. They came, they landed somewhere near the bottom, and they vanished. So here's my read, loyal opposition, and you can disagree with me in the comments. I welcome it. These numbers tell a very consistent story. The only thing that has ever reliably drawn an audience for this couple is the royal angle itself. The moment you take away the "this is about the monarchy" hook, the cooking show, the polo documentary, the leadership series, the audience simply does not show up in meaningful numbers. And that, to me, explains everything about why Netflix didn't renew the overarching deal, despite Meghan's public framing that this was some kind of natural evolution of the relationship into a more flexible first-look arrangement. That framing requires you to ignore a spreadsheet with 8,000 rows on it. I don't think Netflix was punishing anyone. I think Netflix looked at the actual retention data, the same data we just walked through, and made a business decision. That's it. That's the whole story. No feud, no vendetta, just math. And this is where I'll add my own speculation, clearly labelled as speculation. I don't see any evidence of a scripted project in active production right now. No cast announcements, no director attached, no release date whispers. And in this industry, those things leak. They always leak. Silence this total, this long, usually means there's nothing there yet to leak. One more thing worth flagging while we're in the spreadsheet. Harry's Invictus Games documentary also didn't chart, and I think that's a bigger structural problem than people give it credit for. If a free, globally available Netflix documentary about the Invictus Games can't pull a meaningful audience, that's a real warning sign for the long-term sustainability of the games themselves. You can't fill seats for an event if people won't even watch it for free from their couch. The pitch has always leaned heavily on watch because it's Harry and Meghan, instead of watch because these are genuinely compelling stories about veterans. Those are two very different sales pitches, and only one of them actually works long-term. This isn't happening in a vacuum either. This fits the exact pattern we've been tracking on this channel for a while now. Announce something big, let it underperform quietly, reframe the underperformance as a pivot or an evolution, move on to the next headline before anyone checks the receipts. The problem is, this time, the receipts are a public Netflix spreadsheet that anyone can download in about 90 seconds. You don't need me. You don't need any commentary channel. You can go search "what we watched" right now. Download the report yourself and see exactly what I just walked you through. That's what makes this one different from the usual gossip cycle. It's not "sources say." It's not anonymous. It's just numbers, sitting there, in alphabetical order, refusing to spin themselves. Okay, loyal opposition, here's where you come in. We all know the pattern by now. Something underperforms quietly, gets reframed as a win, and within a few weeks there's a new headline distracting from the last one. So here's the game. Drop your prediction in the comments. What's the next self-inflicted PR misstep? A new, candid interview? Another rebrand of the Netflix relationship? A surprise announcement timed suspiciously close to a bad news cycle? Place your bets now, because if the pattern holds, and it has held every single time so far, you will not be waiting long to find out who's closest. Drop your prediction below, like the video if you enjoyed the deep dive, and subscribe if you want to be here the moment the next headline drops, so we can hold it up against the receipts together. Loyal opposition, as always, I'll see you in the next one.